I have a strong aversion to life. I don't like life. I'm very uncomfortable with it. It makes me feel ill. I don't appreciate being brought to life. I wish that I had never been born. I don't like my own life, and I don't like life in general. I don't like what life does to sentient beings, and I don't like a lot of the things that sentient beings do. I don't like having to wake up in the morning and get out of bed. I don't like having to do a bunch of things just to stave off more suffering. Because if I don't do anything, if I just sit there, then I suffer. I get really thirsty and hungry and bored, and that's just the beginning. Then even worse things happen if I just didn't move. So I'm forced to move and do a bunch of things that I don't want to do. And I don't want to have to try and decide whether or not to kill myself, and try and decide how much pain that will cause others and how much trouble it will cause them, and I don't want to take the risk of failing and being in an even worse situation afterwards. And I don't want to have to do all these chores, like taking care of my body and trying to stay somewhat healthy so I don't suffer a lot from ill health and, well, even I already have bad health, but even worse health. And yeah, so I don't want to have to like exercise or eat healthy or eat at all. I don't even want to eat. I really don't want to do anything. I don't want to even think or breathe or exist. And I don't like having to, have all these thoughts, and a lot of them are unwanted, and same with drives. I have all these drives that I don't want. I don't want to. I know where the drives come from. I know that my body isn't made for me, it's made for my genes. So I'm a vehicle for my genes, and my drives are things that will generally help genes get passed on, and I have no interest in passing on my genes. I would. There's no way I want to pass on my genes. I think that it would be a terrible thing to do. There's no way I would want to make somebody else come into existence. And so I have all these drives that I have to try and either ignore or fight or just distract myself from. It gets burdensome. And that's a big part of life, is just a burden. And I don't want the burden. I don't want to have to do all these stupid things just to avoid more pain and to not be to cause a lot of pain. I don't want to cause others to suffer. I don't want to have to make all the decisions that you have to in life. I don't want to have to deliberate and have that stress. I don't want to have to worry about trying to make good decisions and having regret if I make bad decisions. I don't want to have to try and always be careful and to take a bunch of precautions. But if I don't do those things, then I have to deal with the consequences. There's a big risk involved, even bigger than there already is. And that's another thing I don't want to deal with, is all the risk. All the risks are very unappealing, to say the least. There's no way I want to get some wretched disease or get stuck in a bad storm or get in an accident or hurt others by being uncareful. I don't want to. I don't want to risk my welfare or others. And I don't like having to clean up after myself. Like, if I accidentally spill food or something, I don't want to have to clean it up. I don't want to have to do all these stupid chores and all these repetitive tasks just to be in a somewhat comfortable state. And I don't want to deal with all my mental and physical health problems. I have a bunch of them, and like for instance, an overactive bladder, a bunch of digestive issues, bad skin, hemorrhoids, just to name a few. And then there's all the mental issues. Like I haven't been diagnosed with any mental disorders, but I'm quite certain that I have obsessive compulsive disorder, and that is very laborious and frustrating and irritating, and I also just have general anxiety, and I might have depression. Maybe depressive realism is more accurate. I see reality for what it is more than most people, so that can be very depressing. And I don't like going to doctors. I don't like interacting with them, and I don't like being subservient to them, and I don't want to take medication. I already have taken some. I have gone to doctors in the past, and I have taken medication, and I've had side effects, and I haven't really benefited. So, yeah, I'm in a very uh, troublesome position with my health. And yeah, it's just all the frustrations, and I don't like having all the frustrations, all the mess ups, all the things that go wrong, and then having all the stress that comes with that, and the irritation. And that's something that I get irritated easily. It's probably because, well, I'm sure there's a lot of reasons for that. And I guess an easy way to say is just my aversion to life causes a lot of irritation. And I I don't like interacting with people. I don't like feeling like I have to decide between either being nice to them or being like fake. So I have to choose between hurting their feelings or not being genuine. And I'd hate doing both of those things. I don't like hurting others, and I don't like being dishonest. And I don't like having to be put in this situation where I either have to work and do something I don't want to do and interact with people I don't want to interact with, or else live with somebody else that will take care of me, or be homeless, or live in a homeless shelter. I don't like I don't like any of those options. And I don't like being a part of this. I don't like uh, being a part of life. I don't want to support it or go along with it or contribute to it. I don't want to like give money to corporations and governments that are going to use the money to uh, benefit themselves at the expense of others and like cause others a bunch of suffering and exploit them. And I don't want to have to uh, see and know about all the suffering in the world and all of the ignorance and the optimism. And so I don't want to see like humans and other animals just keep on doing the same things and keep hurting themselves and others and thinking that the future's going to be different. And yeah, I I don't like having to I don't like being a human. I don't like being an animal. I don't like being alive. I don't like um, uh, just being like one of these creatures that uh, cause so much unnecessary suffering and that want to propagate life. 'Cause to. I don't want life to uh, continue on. I want it to be prevented. And yeah, I don't want to see all the terrible things that happen. And it's uh, it's not just sad, but it's also just irritating just seeing the stupid things that people do and uh, just their selfishness, and they're not even being aware of why they're doing what they're doing. They don't even know what they are. They don't even know that they're animals and that they're just serving their genes. They think it's like all this stuff is in their self-interest when they're really just being owned by their own body and uh, brain. Their uh, life is, yeah, it's not what people think it is. It's uh, it's just a stupid repetition of genes being passed on to another vehicle for no reason, just because that's the way they evolved. And yeah, so there's no purpose in this. There's no point in continuing this, in making more life. There's no point. And the people don't understand that, or they're not willing to admit it. And yeah, I don't like seeing just this perpetual cycle of creating more life that's gonna suffer and cause suffering. So I'm very averse to life, and I'm very averse to making more life. I don't think that any more lives should be brought into existence and subjected to aversive experiences and having to do things that they don't want or like to do, and having to go through painful or other negative states. And all sentient beings have aversive experiences, so I think we should spare them. Spare anyone else from having to go through those.